Public Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight we have a very special guest, John from Arizona, targeted individual with a story to tell. You can call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. Our newsletter is free, and you can receive a copy by writing Frank at targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter or visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to contact information. Please fill in your name, email, and cell number in a brief message, or call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Access by phone 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. ID targeted. If you'd like to join us by computer, in your address bar, type freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. I'd just like to say that tomorrow evening, which will be Friday night for most of us, Dr. Catherine Horton will again be with us this time. She had some technical difficulties, and that does happen when you depend upon electronics and time. Okay, John, we're all ready to hear your story.
Oh, hey there, Frank. Thank you for allowing me to go on your show.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So I think we began yesterday on my story of being a target individual. Began around 2005 when I first started thinking back that I first experienced the first hints of it. And then it kind of escalated in 2008 once Barack Obama became president. I started noticing some changes occurring in the student body of the students that I was teaching at the time, because I was an instructor at a local community college in San Jose, California. I started noticing some changes in the student body. It was kind of odd. I wasn't like that before. But it really began. It escalated tremendously in 2011 when I was started posting. I don't know exactly if this is what caused it, but I started posting about my thoughts on UFOs and extraterrestrials online. And that's when I started noticing the organized stalking escalate tremendously. And that's when I got basically all the harassment at once, continuous.
That could be, John. It usually takes one act that you don't really quite recall. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Yeah, and that seems to get you on some sort of list. And there are others who say that it happens at random. Now, go ahead, John.
Well, yeah. That's what I've heard too. I've heard that as well. That it does happen at random. But for me, I think that's what triggered it. I think it is. I'm not sure. Is that right after I posted it online? Immediate, all the full gamut. At first, I didn't know what was going on until I started noticing helicopters flying over my residence. Every time I thought about something, a certain thought, about UFOs or something. Anytime I posted something online, it's like they flew a helicopter multiple times during the day over my residence. It's never happened before. And the constant noise harassment, the police sirens would go off in the distance. Generally, if once again, if you thought the system doesn't like car squeaking engines, all sorts of ways to make noise, and that's when it happened. And remote no monitoring, constant, continues. That's what happened to me.
Do you get any type of remote neural monitoring or V2K or anything like that?
I get remote neural monitoring. That's the one that they use the most. Not so much V2K. I mean, I've experienced a little bit of it. Usually when I wake up in the morning or go to sleep, but often I don't get that. Remote neural monitoring is a continuous. Even today, it goes on today. Yeah,
that goes on 24/7. Weddings, funerals. Doesn't matter where you are. It continues.
Yeah, I agree. It's they have no limits. They watch me and everybody all the time, no matter what you're doing. Even today when I was yesterday after I got off the phone, I went to go watch some Netflix, have some dinner, and watch YouTube. And nearly every show I saw on Netflix made references to what I was doing while I was watching the show. Same thing with YouTube. And today on the internet, when I was searching around Facebook, a lot of people on there started making references to what I was doing or thinking. It's really crazy. And even today, I still get the helicopter flyover just a couple of minutes before I called. Half an hour, got another helicopter flyover. I don't know why. It's strange.
Do you think it's a Black Hawk, John, or?
I don't know. I didn't go outside. I didn't go outside and see, but I couldn't see it. I was in my kitchen and I couldn't see it because the houses are so closer together. You can't see upwards. It's really strange. But yeah, I used to see that. I used to see black aircraft flying in front of my apartment back in San Francisco. Never happened before. It looked like an F-5 trainer or something, and it was flying around. It's like, wow, never seen that. Odd. It happened. Yep, and it happens still today.
Wow.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So how long before you found the community? Just recently?
I found the community around 2013, 2014. I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Well, first to Tempe. I was attending Arizona State University for physics program, and it was intense. I mean, at that point, it was continuous. Almost everybody on campus was a perp. It was continuous, and I said it was really difficult to do anything at that time, at that point. And I thought to myself, if they invested this much money and it's this widespread, I'm sure there must be other people like me. And then I started searching on Google for, helicopters reading thoughts, and I stumbled upon target individuals and gang stalking, and that's where it began. That's where it took off from there. Finally realized there were other people like myself.
Yeah, there are many. There are millions. It's estimated that if you split it into thirds, you would have, we'll say, a third in the general population or the community, maybe. Mm-hmm. Another third in prisons and mental facilities.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
Another third that just has not come forward, won't come forward, or doesn't know what's going on yet.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't even know it. I don't even know that this is happening to other people like themselves. I mean, it must be. I mean, for me, it was difficult to talk about it on the internet, and I can imagine it must be challenging for many people who are going through this. The system, has no limits and all these different things, and they kind of shame them and humiliate them all the time, and they experience all these things, and they don't know what's going on. It's just incredible. And also what makes it so difficult to talk about is that there's so many people involved around us with people that are perps. And sometimes you think the entire city is involved, an entire metropolitan area. And
okay, John, we have HC from California who would like to ask us a question. So I'm going to direct the question to you.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, Well, I had to get off the line real quick and redial for the different number. But my question to you, John, first of all, was because you go as far back as 05, what did you notice that far back?
I couldn't hear that clearly. What is the question again, ma'am or sir?
So your targeting goes back to 2005. What did you notice that far back? What did you notice back in 2005?
Okay, yeah. So in 2005, one thing that I do remember is I was watching a video on my computer, and I was in San Francisco. I was born and raised, and I was in San Francisco at the time, and I turned on my television, and I started watching the news. I think it was KTVU, Channel 2, and the host started making references to what I was watching on my video, and that's the first time I remember. At first, I let it go because I thought it was just, I don't know, it was strange. I just didn't pay attention to it, and then that's the first one in my memory that I remember that was kind of organized stalking.
Okay,
are you a target individual?
Yes, and who was it you said was making references? I wasn't clear on who was it said something to you that you about what you were watching. Who?
What is it, ma'am?
Who? I wasn't clear on who it was or what it was that said something to you concerning what you were watching.
Oh yeah, they were saying something about
something
I forgot.
Who is that?
What is that?
Who is
that? Who said, John?
I can't hear the caller. It's a little distorted. The voice is distorted. I can't hear it, but it had something to do with what I was watching, and I forgot what it was. But he said something, and the person said it was Big this or something. I forgot what it was, Big John or something like that, something related to that. But it was Big something, and then that's when I noticed, and I forgot about it. I thought, oh, they're just playing around. They'll let it go. You know, they won't intrude in what you're doing in your privacy of your own home. But wrong I was.
Okay, I'm still not clear. And Frank understood my question. And so who is the person? Was the person someone you knew that said that? Was the person in your head? Was the person a neighbor?
Oh, no. This was I was watching television. I turned on the television, and it was a newscaster on KTVU Channel 2. And they started broadcasting the day's local news. It's a local news program. And he made mention to it. I said, what? He made specific references to what I was watching and thinking about. And that's kind of... Yeah.
I see.
That happens quite often.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Thank you. I understand now. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, you'll get to know her. She's on our conference call. Usually, I think on Wednesday or Friday. She's very nice.
That's great. Great. I'll make sure I'll call in sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will be sending you email. You're on our Sunday newsletter list, and you're also on our updates list. So you'll be getting some email, that's for sure.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much. So, that's when it began, around 2005. And there were some other things that happened when I was younger, a kid that I think made references to it. Kind of strange things, but often before 2005, it wasn't as common, for sure. But I know 2005 was really when it started up for me. And another that happened was I used to take long walks in South City for health and because I like to listen to music or talk shows. And I went around this one corner over there in South City, South San Francisco, very, very busy. And when the targeting began, I remember, and this was around 2011, all of a sudden the car started to honk at me. Every time I passed that corner, somebody would always be there to honk at me all the time, just honking at me. And at first I thought it was weird, but then every time I passed the corner, honk. You know, it's strange. And then I would see people with T-shirts that would be making references to what I was thinking, you know, about what they were, you know, I was listening to something and I was thinking a thought, and their T-shirt would make reference to the thought I was thinking. Just how pervasive this program was.
Yes, it's Forever Reaching. There's a video that I think you should watch sometime. It would be helpful for your situation. It's on Vimeo.
Vimeo?
And if you look in Vimeo and you put in the keywords the program and targeted, you'll come up with it. It's a very informative video, and I think it's probably around the era that you actually found out that you were targeted. So it's a very nice 45-minute video.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it in mind. I'm writing it down right now. I watch it after I'm done with the call. And so, it kept on going. And 2011, 2012, and it was intense. It's not as intense now. There's not as much noise harassment, but it still happens every once in a while. But it was around that time, 2015.
It might change, John, into something else that you don't like at all. And let's hope that it doesn't. Because,
hopefully it doesn't,
the type of harassment they start out with, the next thing you might feel or hear is tinnitus, primarily in your left ear.
Yeah, I do have that.
And becoming quite bothersome. And what they are doing, believe it or not, is finding out if there's any way that they can bounce a signal around in your head enough to get a voice to happen. So that's something you might be looking for in the near future.
Yeah, I do have tinnitus.
Let's hope you don't get it.
Yeah, I have that on my left ear. You're right. I have the tinnitus in the ear. It comes and goes. If I get stressed out because of the hard targeting, it comes. I could feel it. It goes in. There's like a buzzing sound. But if I kind of forget about the targeting, it goes away. And another type of targeting, and many people have talked about this, is when you're driving on the freeway. And when people drive on the freeway sometimes, if you're thinking about something, you'll often see license plates that make references to what you're thinking about. And so you're driving on the freeway or the street, and all of a sudden somebody pulls up and has a license plate that kind of makes references to what you're thinking about. And, or the license plate frame, something like that, or the car, a sticker, all those different things. And even the radio disc jockeys, even they start, saying something. If you're driving in your car and thinking about something, all of a sudden the radio disc jockey will make reference to it, right as you're thinking about it. So, like, we're all tied in. It's so difficult to get out of that.
Okay, we are heading for commercial.
Okay.
Thank you, John, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? a voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Republic Broadcasting Network depends on listener support of our advertisers and of our sponsors. We'd like to especially thank all of you who have taken advantage of our fundraiser with FrontSight Bonus. Those who are now FrontSight members, please train as soon as possible for your sake and for that of our nation. And please consider sharing your training and what you've learned when you arrive home. Republic Broadcasting Network has to stop promoting this fundraiser on air and on the website in just a few days. Dr. Ignatius Piazza, president of FrontSight, made a gracious exception to his no media rule for us at Republic Broadcasting Network. Thank you, Dr. Piazza. And once you've been to FrontSight, feel free to call your favorite host and share your experience on the air. We can continue this fundraiser without media help, but it'll be totally up to the listeners to spread the information. Please call Dan Sutterfield in Missouri at 573-465-2356, 573-465-2356. That's 573-465-2356.
We are coming to you live once again from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, we have a very special guest, a TI from Arizona. His name is John, and he's not giving his last name for obvious reasons. And you can call the station and ask a question at 800-313-9443, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. Our newsletter is free, and you can receive a copy by writing Frank at targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter, or you can visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to Contact Information. Please fill in your name, email address, and cell number, and a short note. Or you can call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. Targeted Justice is hosting a rally and protest event in our nation's capital. This is taking place October the 18th through the 22nd. Registration fee is $35 and includes a free T-shirt. We encourage you to request a 5-minute audience with your congressman. You will need to make a request several weeks in advance. Make the request through your congressman's website and ask for an appointment on October the 21st or the 22nd. And the address for that website is as follows: https://www.house.gov/representatives. Okay, now we're getting back to our very special guest, John from Arizona. Go ahead, John.
Thanks, Frank. Okay, so I have something that people might be interested in, an idea and a concept that people might be interested in. And,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. And so if you think about this, remote monitoring, if you watch a movie, for example, in my case, if I watch a movie or if you read a book or you listen to an audio file that was recorded before you listen to it, it's not live. A movie, this was recorded before you ever watched it. A book was written, published before you read it. And somehow they managed to make references to what you're doing or saying or thinking in your present time. And that's the one that really, really caught me off guard and I find most intriguing, because it seems as if they have, whoever's behind organized stalking has the technology to send information to the past, or they can see into our futures. It sounds very, very unbelievable, but apparently that's what I experience. They have the ability to see into the future as far back in the 80s and 70s and 60s. I've watched movies from the 20s just to test it out, and it's amazing just how far back it goes.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not going to comment too deeply on, but I will say this, that with all the technological achievements since 1948, I would not be a bit surprised if there was limited time travel.
I agree.
No, I'm told that if that were possible, you'd be able to go backwards, but you would not be able to go forward. Simply because it's not there yet. I've heard that.
I have heard something like that.
I'm not an authority on time travel, but it's something to research.
Yeah, let me get something else interesting. Here it is. You wouldn't believe it, but I was reading some of the writings of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and the way they translated it, but even he was making references to what I was doing, and he did it in a way where it's kind of, you can tell that he was making comments from the past. They didn't have really the technological scientific know-how. And even if you read books like the Odyssey, I was trying to read it, I never got through it, but even there they're making references. I'm thinking, something's going on here. It might be much deeper than the U.S. government. And I think, wow, this is incredible. They have that ability.
Okay, John, we're going to commercial. Once again, folks, thank you very much for listening. My name is Frank Allen.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
We are coming to you live once again from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, we have a very special guest, John from Arizona. He is a targeted individual, and he is also a teacher, and he is standing by. And we also have HC. So come on back on, John, and we'll get you situated. And then you have a question coming in again.
Okay.
It's from the same young lady that called in previously.
Yeah. Yes, me again. Sorry.
Hello, HC.
Hope you can hear me better this time. While you're watching the movies or reading the book, and they can obviously see what you're reading or watching in real time, you have a chip in your eye?
I'm having trouble understanding HC.
Oh.
She wants to know whether you have a chip in your eye.
In his eye. Yeah.
In my thigh?
Yeah.
Or in my eye?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't had any major surgeries or any lost time for 20 years. I've never really been in any major surgeries or seen the doctor where they can implant something. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, okay. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if you look... Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, but yeah, I think you would... If you had one in your eye, I think you would probably see it. Most people I know that have them in their eye, they can actually see it. You know, their eye is maybe a different color, or they can see something in their eye that was put there. But I just wondered if that might be a reason. But if you don't know, then you wouldn't know. But if that's a reason why they can see what you're looking at real time. If there's a chip in your eye, they could see everything you're looking at in real time.
Possibly could be. I don't know. I'm unaware of anything that could have happened. That's
Yeah.
good. Some
Okay,
TIs do report that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them report that. I mean, I don't either, but they can't see in real time what I'm looking at either. Okay, thank you, Frank, and thank you, John, and I'll listen again.
Okay, thank you, HC. And I just wanted to let you know that you are so welcome to call anytime you want to, because you always bring a great attitude and a lot of information with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and have a good night, HC. All right, as for that time machine, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that were something that has been created. If you look at places like CERN, the fantastic things they do there, and there are worries, whether exaggerated or real, that they have actually opened a portal to another dimension. Now, to me, that sounds very possible. It's a plausible conclusion, but it hasn't been proven to me, so I can't really state it as being true.
Yeah, it could be a very real possibility. A lot of the physics they teach sometimes is a little questionable. Let's say that. Yeah, they don't want people just jumping through time on their own, I suppose.
Yes, Dr. Horton is actually a particle physicist from CERN.
Yeah.
And she has been so violently attacked. And I've seen some of her videos where she almost wants to cry, and she won't. And she has been hanging in there, putting her videos out, and she is putting out information that you just don't hear. That you just don't,
I've seen them.
You won't hear it on the street. You won't hear it anywhere. It's new concepts that are being used. And she also has a very nice survey formatted PDF for you to fill out. And I will make that available to you as well.
Sure. We'll keep an eye out for it. And so...
Oh, yeah. I'll mail it to you. I'll mail it to you. It's... instead of being involved questions, it's a lot of questions, but it's just checks. You just check a box. And it's very, very easy to round the whole thing out. Nice. And it's actually an affidavit that's going to be presented to help everyone eventually to get out from under this. Because it's going to end up going to The Hague in the Netherlands, I think, where it will be settled. If not, in Switzerland, where it will be settled.
Yeah, hopefully it succeeds. I've been following her story for a while as well. She was putting shielding up and everything. I remember that.
Yeah, she's a very wonderful person, very open, honest, and she gives you the truth of what's going on. And she's pretty sassy. She's not afraid to go after anyone who she has proven that is after the community or after her.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I've read her. I listened to a lot of her videos. And so, it's amazing. She's great. Those physicists, they know their stuff.
Yeah, she's very, very intelligent. Okay, to get back to your situation, I hope that what you have does not develop into something more severe that is really a lot harder to cope with. I'm not going to, put gang stalking versus electronic harassment, because gang stalking has its share of definite problems and will leave you traumatized, actually, because you're continually bothered in the streets and with street theater, I understand. I have not been personally exposed to any of that, and I hope I never do.
Yeah.
I'll give the floor back to you, John.
Well, thanks. Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of new at this. I hope it too that it doesn't intensify back like it did. But the one thing I will say for countermeasures is all the things I've learned in the last 10 years. For me, because I've never really had any surgeries where I was put under anything or lost time, I always try to look for how they were doing this using physics. All the experience, all the targeting we experience, all the harassment methods, it's well-known physics, material, physical things happening. So if they can read thoughts, that must mean, it took me a while to connect this, that we're emitting some sort of information, radio waves or something, that they can pick up, process, and then reconstruct what we're thinking strictly from the waves that we're emitting from the body. And so some people said, well, you might have implants, but I've looked and I don't think I have one. But what I have found is that it appears as if most of our modern electronic devices, and even things that are not electronics, have sensors in them that can pick up all of the emissions from our brain waves in our nervous system, and they can process it and extract out what we're thinking. It's like having an AM/FM radio. If you have the right radio, the right antenna, and you tune it just right, you can pick up a station. And so the same thing with our bodies. If you have the right antenna, you have the right receiver, and you tune it just right and process it, you could extract what we're thinking. So
spot on.
For a while, yeah. And so I went looking for these little things, and there's a nice, they must be very tiny. I've never seen any. And it was around 2014 when I moved out of an apartment and bought a house here in Arizona that I bought iron panels, pure iron. These are 2.5 millimeter thick, pure iron panels from China.
Wow.
Thank the Chinese. Yeah. And I built, they're really big, like about 2 meters high by 1 meter wide. And I hired a previous X-ray tech to build me a room where all the walls were iron. And it was more or less sealed better. It was sealed okay. And it worked. I got inside, and they couldn't read thoughts while I was inside. But at the time, I didn't figure out how to stop illegal entries. I didn't even know they were doing illegal entries. And so what happened is we left the house alone. And when I came back one night after we went to go to an event over here in Phoenix, all of a sudden I saw this strange markings on the wall of my iron room. You open it up, you go inside. I saw the markings inside. I've never seen that before. And now the room no longer worked. I went inside, and they can still read what I was thinking. And it took me about 2 years to get it back to how it was. A lot of experimentation to figure out what they did.
Okay. Let me interrupt you for a second. You need to come on probably here again just to explain the construction of this room that you have built. Does it have windows?
No windows.
No windows. Does the ceiling have iron too?
Yep. Every wall, all 6 walls, pure iron.
Wow.
Yep.
So do your cell phones work in there?
It still gets some signal, but the signal is very, very reduced. Yeah,
okay, are all the joints welded, sealed, grounded together?
No, they're not. There's still some little bit gaps in there. But it worked pretty well when I was in there. Before I left the house, they came in and they put some stuff in there.
I have some plans for a device that you may want to try electrifying two isolated walls. It's just a thought. I've got the tech. It's pretty easy, actually. And we'll get together on that. But this room is very interesting, and I think this is something that a lot of people are going to want to hear about. And I think a lot of people will offer you suggestions. And a lot of people will want to speak with you about it.
Hopefully they will. I'm glad to help.
Oh, yeah. This is... a lot of people would like to try what you're doing or what you have done, but they just have not got around to it. Either they're renting the property or they don't have permission from the landlord to alter anything. But this is something that you have done that's obviously very different, and you have the basis to add on to this and really create something that may make a difference. Thank you, John.
Hopefully. Sure. I'm glad to help, sir.
Okay.
So
I'd like to refer you to our site, and it's documents. It's in the top row, and it's how to build an enclosure, and see if you have emulated what has already been written about it.
Okay.
Another gentleman that you may want to get in touch with is Peter from Connecticut. I'm not going to give his last name out over the air because he has been involved in the building of one of these particular type units. And you have the basis, and you say that you've blocked off a lot just with the iron. And I know that copper is another very popular metal to use. And I know that clear coat, actually with copper particulate poured into it and then painted on the wall, is another, we'll say, countermeasure. But I'm very interested in what you've done, and I would be interested in pictorial evidence so that we can get a look at it. It's excellent. I'm really glad you brought that up. Go ahead. Tell me more.
Okay, so the way I came around iron is, I used to be electrical engineer a long time ago, 20 years ago. I worked with Hitachi a little bit, and they have something that the frequencies that are blocked or attenuated, made smaller, depends on the thickness of the material and the type of material. And so iron has the right combination of properties. It has the right combination of properties that allow you to block the most amount of signal for the least amount of material. It has the lowest resistivity and the highest, what they call magnetic permeability. And that really does a good job of blocking low frequencies, because blocking high frequencies is pretty easy. There's something called a skin depth. You look it up on Wikipedia. It kind of gives you a calculation. There's also something called a penetration depth, how far a signal can go into material before its strength gets smaller. And you can see what it depends on. The frequency is higher, the less it gets into the material. The lower the resistivity. Yep.
We have to go to commercial again. Thank you very much, John. And hold on. And thank you very much for listening.
Sure.
It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We here at RBN are working with Front Sight Firearms Training Institute to bring our audience the best in combat, tactical, and defensive firearms training. Whether you're a private citizen who is new to firearms, or you have a concealed weapon permit and want a level of training that surpasses what you've received from your local gun range, Front Sight provides priceless education and skills taught by seasoned law enforcement, military, and private citizen instructors to levels that far exceed law enforcement and military standard. With nearly 1 million responsible citizens trained from every town, city, and state from across the United States, Front Sight has bolstered the Patriot movement to a whole new level. Contact Dan Sutterfield by phone at 573-762-2356 or 573-465-2356 or shoot him an email at domedan, DOMEDAN, at hotmail.com. This is a limited time opportunity. Don't miss it.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger-looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
We are coming to you once again live from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen, and tonight we have a very special guest who's brought some enlightening information. It's John from Arizona, and I'm going to skip over everything about this. You can call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. Okay, John.
Hey there, Frank. So,
hey, I think you've got the basis for a really fantastic device there.
Hopefully, yes. And yep. And so you for anybody who's trying to build these rooms, you want to look at the properties of the material you're using. And one is resistivity, as they call it, and the other one is magnetic permeability, and the frequencies. And the reason why it's so important is because the frequencies emitted from our body are very low, like 0 to 100 hertz, and so they penetrate through a lot of materials. You know, the higher the frequency, the less it can penetrate. The more it can go through things. And so that's the reason why I chose iron.
Okay, I have a question. The millimeter wave that's being used in 5G, I believe, is just skin deep. And you might correct me on that, but you might have a very great protection there against 5G.
Yeah, it is. The 5G is very high frequency, 300 gigahertz or something like that. I forget, but yeah, it's in the tens of gigahertz, and so it's attenuated. You're right. You're correct. It only goes in a couple of micrometers. I mean, it's absorbed very readily by many materials.
Okay, we will have to do some research because you are talking right up my alley here. That's exactly where I'm working.
Awesome.
So I think that you should come on as a guest on the conference call, probably Monday evening, if you like, or radio. We'll see what works. I have to check my scheduling. I'm talking blind here. And one of the reasons is I'm very excited about the information you've brought forward.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to have to close for the evening, and I would like to thank my listeners. I would like to thank, firstly, you, John.
Yeah.
And I would
Thank
like
you,
to
Frank,
say,
for having me on.
Oh, no problem. I'm sure that'll happen again. Good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Gale.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you some from Amazon.com. This product is superb. I have been taking it for about a year now, and I can feel my cardiovascular system run like a Swiss watch. I definitely recommend this product for anyone that has high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and heart palpitations, A+. It's potent, but it works. I have been waking up for the past 3 years with numb hands, and a week into using Extendivite, my numb hands seem to have cleared up. My circulation was off, and now it's back on track. So I'm happy. I feel so energized, and I have my husband on it now. My mother-in-law has cholesterol problems, so I bought her a bottle as well. Thank you so much. Love the product. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.